Give us your reaction.
This indictment is actually worse than what was reported in the news. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, a George Soros-funded prosecutor, brought a purely political indictment of President Trump. It doesn't even allege the legal basis for the indictment. So it is a sham political prosecution, just like we expected. Again, it's even worse than we expected. This is part of a pattern by Democrats. This is lawfare by Democrats. This is election interference. They're trying to interfere with the election. They're trying to take out Trump with an indictment because they fear that they can't beat him in the polls.
Can anything happen to change that weaponization? And do you think it will stop Trump?
I actually think it's going to make Trump stronger. I think it's going to guarantee that Trump's back in the White House in January 2025. Jim Jordan from the House Judiciary Committee should start issuing subpoenas immediately. Alvin Bragg has weaponized the Manhattan DA's office. He brought in a very senior Biden Justice Department official, Matthew Colangelo, to come in and serve as the political hatchet man for this investigation. So Jim Jordan should get moving on subpoenas.
But do you anticipate this going to trial?
I do, just because I don't think Trump is going to get a fair trial with this judge, and he's certainly not going to get a fair trial with a Manhattan jury pool that is like 95% Trump deranged. And so I think this will have to get resolved on appeal. And frankly, I think this is going to have to get resolved by the presidential election in 2024.
Wow.
Is there any way, given that DA Bragg is saying there's some federal crime which he doesn't actually detail, does that give Trump any opening to go to a federal court, maybe in a less hostile area, to intervene in some way?
That would be very difficult to go from a state court to federal court. He needs to raise his federal claims in state court, but there are several hooks for House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. Section 5 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution requires that states provide equal protection and due process to their citizens, and Congress has an oversight responsibility in that regard.